channel. I wanted to jump in today really quickly and give you guys some quick updates on what's happening on the stock market. This is a very interesting time to be an investor. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is doing some really amazing things. I hope you're invested. If you're not invested, you're kind of missing out. You've been missing out for years, honestly, but you're really missing out now as the market is starting to recover from some of the recent turmoil that went down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just read for you an article on CNN Money and kind of interpret that for you. The Dow Jones just hit 27,000 points for the first time ever on Wednesday as stocks climbed higher on hopes of an interest rate cut later this month. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell shored up rate cut hopes with his testimony before the Senate Banking Committee Thursday and House Financial Services Committee on Wednesday. The Dow rose to a fresh all-time intraday high before pulling back slightly. It's up 0.4% as of the time of this recording. How you doing, Brandy? Good to see you. I wanted to talk about this because you should be aware of what's going on. Let me know. First of all, let me know how many of you are already investing in the stock market. If you're already invested, just say I'm an investor or something like that. Let me see if we have any investors in here. Latanya, are you invested yet? Son of a King, Derek, have you started investing yet? John Doe, okay. Seldom Seen says me. Lolita says I am. Emmanuel says investor in the building. Good. And I want us to shout that out. It's almost like we have other things we shout out, like if we're in a fraternity or sorority, or if we play basketball or whatever. But I don't really care about stuff like that most of the time. I'd rather see you in the fraternity or the sorority of wealth builders. And so if you're an investor, go ahead and shout that out. Also, let me know if you have noticed what's been going on in the market. Have you seen what's been happening lately? It's really been going really, really well. Things are really taking off. Now, somebody asked, can you show a list of stocks you invest in? I really don't want to do that because honestly, when you're a public figure, when you divulge financial information, people scrutinize you a little bit too much. It's not really fair. And honestly, I don't want to go out here acting like I'm flexing and bragging about, what I own and how much money I have, because I don't want that to distract you from where you are and what it is you're trying to do. My goal is to get you to start investing, whether you're investing $5 a week or $5,000 a week. It's really about getting started. Now, I see a question. Clinton says, do you sell more than one type of flashcards? If you go to financialflashcards.com, you'll see the different flashcards we created and invented for Black children only. Other children can use them, but Black images are on these cards for a specific reason, because we want to see Black children. We want them to see themselves as wealth builders. We want them to see themselves as owners, as investors, as entrepreneurs, etc. So anyway, let me read more of this to you. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Those of you who are on the Black Financial Channel, if you're on Facebook, if you could take a second and just share this around. And also, I want to warn everybody on Facebook. Facebook bans me about once a month. And it's not because of anything I'm saying. It's actually because of posts that I shared 6 years ago. I literally shared a post where someone had called Michelle Obama a monkey from 6 years ago, and they defined it as hate speech, and they booted me out again. So I think that we're under attack. Who knows where it's coming from? But either way, you probably want to follow me on a platform other than Facebook, because if you don't, then you may lose me. I may be gone one day and we'll never be connected again. So a couple of ways to follow are, one, if you want to follow and also learn to buy your first share of stock, there's a free training you can get if you sign up at blackmoney100.com. Go to blackmoney100.com, and there's a free training on how to buy your first share of stock. So a lot of you hear me talk about investing and you say, well, how do I do it? Where do I get started? Well, blackmoney100.com, the training is totally free. You can go through that, and everybody loves the videos, been viewed by over 1 million people, and you'll also be connected. And another way is if you want to actually get a text alert when I go live, you can actually text the word Boyce to 31996, text BOYCE to 31996. So anyway, let me keep going. Lolita says, I wanted to ask you the same thing. Do you have a Series 7 license? No, I don't. I have a PhD, so a PhD is the highest level of education you can get in the field of finance. And so, in fact, actually, the year I got my PhD, I was the only African American on earth to get a PhD in finance that year. Because it's really, really hard to get, really tough. I mean, you're in class with some of the smartest people on the planet. I had a former student, actually. It wasn't a classmate. She was a student of mine, who actually got the highest math score in all of Shanghai or something. Like Shanghai's a gigantic city. So she, or maybe it was like, I think she was top 10 in all of China, so these are the types of people that you're, competing with, right? And so basically the people that go get the Series 7 license, they start by learning from people like us, and then they go learn the specifics of the Series 7. So you're learning from somebody who knows what he's talking about. But let me keep going. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, he made some remarks this week, basically hinting toward an interest rate cut, doubling down on that in recent testimony to the House Financial Services Committee and the Senate Banking Committee. And as a result, the markets have been exploding. The markets, according to this article, the market shrugged off slightly higher than expected consumer price data. So basically, inflation's a little bit higher than they expected, but they're not really paying much attention to that. Expectations for a 1/4 percentage point cut at the Fed's July 31st meeting are 80%, with the remaining 20% hoping for a 50 basis point decrease. So actually, it looks like the majority of the economists and people that manage and pay attention to expectations in the market, which are extremely important in moving stock prices, the majority of them are expecting an interest rate cut. 80% believe it's going to be 25 basis points. 20% believe that it will be 50 basis points. If it's 50 basis points, that's going to be huge. That's going to really move the market. Interest rate cuts boost stock prices because basically what they're doing is they're providing liquidity to the market, which for various reasons that we don't have to go into, stimulates investment basically. And a lot of it's being driven by the fact that there are concerns about a global economic slowdown. And also this trade war between Trump and China has caused a little bit of uncertainty. And so the best way to deal with uncertainty is to reduce interest rates. Now, somebody's asking, CJ's asking, website, please. The website to learn to buy your first share of stock is blackmoney100.com. That's blackmoney100.com. Somebody type that in so that CJ can see it. Also, if you are interested in digging further and really learning more about investing, you guys know we run the Black Business School, which is an educational institution created for us, by us. And we teach stock market investing. I have a master class on it. So we get started on July 16th. If you'd like to get started, you can go to drboycemasterclass.com, and you can actually get half off if you use the code word Powernomics. So drboycemasterclass.com. And actually tomorrow, we're going to put together a bundle pack of all of our educational materials for children in case you're interested in that. So give me 1 second. Hit the thumbs up button while I choke myself to death trying to get whatever's out of my throat or whatever's in my throat out. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. I think I'm better now. Lolita, do you have someone on your staff that you can recommend stocks to us? I don't really recommend, I don't pick stocks because the research shows that trying to pick the right stock at the right time just does not work. That's what they call market timing. What we teach is we teach safe investing. There are people that do day trading that really believe that they have a unique stock picking ability. And I don't try to argue with them because they tend to really believe that they have that ability. But in all the years when I was working on my PhD with literally the greatest financial scientists on the planet, those are the people I learned from. Most of the research indicated that trying to pick the right stock at the right time was fruitless, that is a bad thing to do, and it'll only drive you crazy and stress you out. And we go into detail on this in the masterclass if you guys really want to understand the underlying theory. We talk about all that. But what instead we teach you how to do is how to invest in a safe, diversified manner, so you're not hoping that one stock takes off. The stock market is not a casino. It is not a place where you're hoping to pick the right numbers or the right lottery ticket or whatever. It is a place where you make balanced investments that are long-term in nature, where your wealth will grow over time. So we don't get into the business of telling people which stocks to pick and all that. Actually, there was a study in 1974 by Burton Malkiel in which he had monkeys invest in the stock market by literally randomly picking stocks. And actually, what he found was that monkeys actually were able to build more wealth than the leading experts on Wall Street. They were actually able to outperform the experts by randomly picking stocks, because there's a theory called the random walk hypothesis. Thank you, Derek, for sharing that. And that's absolutely true. And the random walk hypothesis basically says that, it's a waste of time to try to pick the right stock at the right time. You'll get lucky, sure, absolutely. And what happens is we have what is called self-attribution bias, which leads us to sometimes attribute things to our own skill, which actually were based on luck. So you're always going to find people out there that say, no, 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 I know how to pick stocks. I picked this stock and that stock and that stock, and look at how well it did. Yeah, but show me everything you picked. And I bet you if you show me everything you picked, you probably didn't do much better than the monkeys did. I am so choking. Am I going to do more cryptocurrency talks? Yeah, I'll cover crypto a little bit. There's some interesting stuff going on there. I don't teach about investing in things that I don't invest in myself. So I'm heavily invested in the stock market. I'm heavily invested in crypto. I'm invested in real estate. I'm also invested in entrepreneurship. Those are the pillars of wealth. You guys got to forgive me. I don't know what's going on with my throat. So anyway, I'm going to go so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me choke to death. But follow the market. The market's doing really well. I don't think the market's done. I think that there are a lot of reasons to believe, excuse me, that the future could be strong for the market. Also, I will say this: if you go back, 50 years, and you were a consistent stock market investor who just randomly picked stocks over the last, say, 30, 40, 50 years, you would be extremely wealthy right now. And so even though we don't know what's going to happen in the future, we do know what's happened in the past. And so I encourage everybody who's really trying to do what's best for your family. In this crazy political environment we live in, where you got Trump saying this and the Democrats saying that, don't get caught up in all that. Whether you talk about Trump being in the White House or, the market has done really well. When Obama was in the White House, the market has done really well. When Bush was in the White House, the market has done really well. When Clinton was in the White House, the market has done really well. When Reagan was in the White House, or Bush Sr. was in the White House, the market did really well. When Reagan was in the White House, the market did really well. So my point is, if you're just consistent with it, that's how people build wealth. Most people don't get rich quickly; they get rich slowly. So I encourage you to embrace that in your life. And what I'm going to embrace is fitness because she's getting ready to go running, and I need to go running. So I'm still stuck here. We're still in Scotland. We got one more day here. We'll be in Chicago next. If you actually want to come and hang out with me for the day, I'm doing an investment seminar in Chicago on July 28th. You can go to drboycechicago.com if you'd like to join us. Feel free to come out for that. People fly in and stuff like that for the investment seminars, and it's well worth it. So drboycechicago.com is where you can find out more about that. Okay, guys. So last point I'll make here is they said on the trade front, President Donald Trump tweeted earlier that China is, quote, letting us down in that they have not been buying the agricultural products from our great farmers that they said they would. So this says that the trade war is probably going to continue. Trump likes to fight. That's his style. Sometimes it works for him. Sometimes it doesn't. He's been fighting for 40 years. And he ain't going to stop now. They did agree to a ceasefire at the G20 summit in Japan. Powell, who Trump is also fighting with, Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, who's actually going to cut interest rates, which actually helps Trump personally and politically. Powell is appearing before the Senate Banking Committee Thursday morning, which is this morning. And that testimony is probably out there by now, so you can feel free to check that out. But either way, the bottom line is that the market's really, really strong right now. And I'm not going to say that it's going to stay this way, but there's a lot of reason to be optimistic. Now, Lolita says, I'm a member of the working poor. I work 7 days a week. At this time, I can't afford the masterclass, so I appreciate what you tell us. Well, you know what, Lolita? If you can't afford the masterclass now, that's okay. My goal is to help you build wealth, and not just expect you to have wealth right now. So the Black Business School, actually, you can get started in the Black Business School for free. we have a free option because we run our school more like a church. What we did is we took the university model and made it better, made it affordable, where you don't go into debt. You get to learn from Black professors, and anybody can join no matter what income level. So go get started at theblackbusinessschool.com for free if you can't afford the masterclass yet. And then over time, we can show you, we can prove to you that we can educate you better than anybody else in the country. And then once you're convinced of that, you can give us a try. And I want to earn your trust completely. And so if you try us out and you're not happy, we invest heavily in a really good crackpot, incredibly strong customer support team where they will give you a refund if you're not happy for any reason. Universities don't give refunds, but our college professors do. So basically, the Black Business School is kind of like Ice Cube's Big Three basketball league, where Ice Cube took a lot of basketball players who didn't want to play in the NBA anymore or whatever. The NBA didn't want them anymore for whatever reason. And he said, these guys are still really good. They can play. We can form our own league. Well, that's kind of what we did with the Black Business School. We took professors that were teaching in universities and white universities, and they were a little too Black for the university. And because they were too Black, we said, your Blackness is not a liability. Your Blackness is actually an asset. We want you to be in the Black Business School. So these are the same professors that you learn from at big white universities, except the only difference is that these professors are better because they have the same skill or more skill. Also, they are culturally relevant for you. They understand you. They understand your issues. They won't leave you $100,000 in debt, and they will teach you at the absolute highest levels. So we're actually at a point where when parents ask me, should I send my child to the Black Business School instead of sending them to college? I say absolutely, because it won't cost very much and they can still go to college if they want to, but we're going to teach them the things that Black people need to know, which is how to build wealth. Black people don't necessarily want all the extra stuff. They really just want to provide for their families. They want to have freedom. They want to have their own businesses. They want to be able to invest. They want to know the basics. So that's what we do. We focus on the three pillars of wealth, which is stock investing, real estate, and entrepreneurship. And then once you learn those things, if you want to go to, spend $100,000 at a major university and learn everything else, that's fine. But none of that matters if you can't pay your bills. So that's what our thinking is. And we bring in people like Rebecca Monique, who's actually watching right now. Rebecca is a very talented accountant out of Washington, D.C., who specializes in cryptocurrency, who's extremely good at what she does. And she's one of the people that teaches in the Black Business School, because that's what our people want. Our people want they want teachers who know what the hell they're doing, who have experience, and who understand what it means to be Black. Rebecca gets that. She doesn't see Blackness as a liability. She sees Blackness as a superpower. And so people like Rebecca are the ones you should be learning from, because what you actually find at a lot of white universities, the big ones that charge you $50,000 a year and leave you in debt for life, is a lot of those professors, number one, a lot of them don't even really want you there. Some of them are racist. And many of these business school professors have never run a business. Some of them have never even worked for a business. They've never made any money. And they certainly have never been Black, most of them. So why would you want to learn how to survive as a Black person in America from a person who knows nothing about being Black and doesn't understand the challenges of being Black? And also doesn't understand little things like the limitations on capital. Like, for example, if you go to like some of these business schools, the professor will say something like, yeah, I started my business by borrowing $100,000 from my relatives. Well, most Black people can't do that. Most Black people, yes or no? Give me a yes or no. Or could you go out and borrow $100,000 from your uncles and your parents and your aunts, like, and your cousins? Like, could your family raise $100,000 for you if you had a great business idea and needed the money to start your business? Would you be able to do that? The answer is no, right? My family can't do that. My family can't. Like, I can't. I would have a hard time when I first got started. I would have had a hard time getting $2,000 from my family, right? So what that means is that the business models have to be altered for Black people. Another example is, has anybody ever heard people say that it takes 3 to 5 years for a business to become profitable? Anybody heard that before? Tell me if you've heard that. If you've heard that, give me a yes or no if you've ever heard that. That's one thing that they teach in a lot of business schools, that it takes 3 to 5 years for a business to become profitable. That doesn't work if you're Black. For most Black people I know, when you quit your job and you're trying to not be homeless and trying to feed your kids, you don't have 3 to 5 years. You have 3 to 5 months to become profitable. So what that ultimately means is that because there's a sense of urgency, there has to be a different kind of model. So ultimately, we specialize in creating unique, cutting edge business models that are specific to the challenges of being Black in America and abroad. We have students all around the world. I was just in London. We have a lot of students in London, but we also have students in Africa, in China, everywhere else, and all through the United States as well. And that's why I want you guys to give the Black Business School a try, because we really are here because we care about you. And we have fees for certain things that we do, but the fee is literally like 1/100th of what you spend at major universities. And we keep it low because we don't want you to be in debt. But at the same time, we raise some money because we need to be able to operate and to do the things that we want to do. So I hope you guys will give it a try. We're as good as any institution that you'll ever see, and also you guys and your feedback actually helps us to get better at what we do, because we believe Black people should own our own universities, and we want the Black Business School to be the Harvard for Black people. So take pride in this school. This is built for you, by you, run by you, supported and funded by you. We don't have to operate on anybody's agenda. We don't have to change our rules for anybody, and that's what we are. That's what the Black Business School is. So feel free to go give it a try. So again, you can either join my masterclass if you want, direct interaction with me, in a classroom setting. That's drboycemasterclass.com. Use the code word Powernomics if you want to get 50% off. We start July 16th. It's very, very good. There's a money back guarantee. Or if your budget ain't quite right, just go to theblackbusinessschool.com, sign up for the free membership, and you can just get started there. We give you more for free than most universities give you for $100,000. I guarantee it. And if you don't feel that way, then we want you to come back and tell us why you don't feel that way, so we can actually help you feel that way. We can help you get there, right? You can't go to any university in America and learn from Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson does not teach Powernomics at Yale or Harvard. He teaches it in the Black Business School. Those are the kinds of people that we bring, to you. Anybody you can learn from Claude Anderson to Tariq Nasheed and how he built the Hidden Colors empire. He's come in and spoken. David Banner has come in and talked about his business models. We've had lots of PhDs and experts, and Dr. Tommy Whitler, who's a marketing consumer behavior expert, comes through. Attorney Tanya Nebo, who's an expert on real estate development and the law. Attorney Nicole Compton, who is an expert on business startup, who can teach you how to start your business and do every little piece of paperwork you have to do in a matter of hours and answer any question that you may have. We got some bad Black people out here. We got some really amazing Black people out here. And that's our goal, is to bring those people together, employ them, and to teach our own people. But community support really helps us to get that job done. We have 75,000 students now. We want to have 100,000 students within the next 2 or 3 months. So come join us. Do the free membership. If you don't want to do the masterclass, that's totally fine. Let's just do something. Just do something. Like we're here for you. All right. So I'm out of here, guys. And one more reminder: if you want to learn to buy your first share of stock, we have a free training you can get access to at blackmoney100.com. That's blackmoney100.com. That beautiful Black woman is waiting for me, because we're going to go running, and I need to get my fat butt out here and go put some miles in. So I'm training for a marathon, which I'm dreading that, but I'm going to go do it because I need to. All right. So take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a good day. Be good. Peace.